Hey, what's poppin', people? I'm Cade Shear, and this is my channel, Cade Shear Fishing. We're back from Thanksgiving break with another banger. So over the break, I got so many more lures, it like doubled my collection. I cannot fit it in my big old tackle box that I have anymore. So what I decided to do was I decided to make a seasonal bag for my lures and fishing. So when I go fishing, I don't have to bring that big old tackle box and risk like losing it or dropping it in the water or something. So right here, this is the bag. I got this a few years ago. The lighting was doing something weird, but I got this a few years ago, and this used to be like the only bag that I used. Um, but now I got a lot more stuff, and yeah, so now I filled this bag completely also. So right now I have fall stuff in this bag because of fall fishing, and fall fishing of course has its little obvious baits that you use, like a fluke or a swim bait, but a lot of it is the fisherman's preference. So I have a bunch of trick worms in here and a bunch of lizards in here. I love those for fall fishing. So I'm going to show you what I have, and then I'll go over it all. So some of the packaging in here, some of the packages are not like the correct lure. I think this might be the only one, but I've got this little green pumpkin shad imitation right here. This video is going to be a bit longer because I'm going over this whole thing. So, but it's going to be interesting. I've got some kudzu trick worms right there. I've got a Lake Fork trophy lure. This is a lizard. I'll show you it after when we go over it. I've got a red shad imitation for a trick worm. This is ruby for a trick worm, black and ruby flake. We've got a watermelon red lizard. We've got the rage swimmer. We've got a lizard bullfrog. We've got watermelon candy trick worm. We've got Junebug trick worm. We've got white and chartreuse super fluke. We have more lizards. I've got a watermelon red speedworm. And I have some crawls. I'll explain the crawls later. These are the speed crawl ultrabite. I've got some finesse worms, which I'll explain those later as well. Some Mardi Gras flukes, and we've got some black lizards. Alright, let's get into it. So what I found is that lizards work real well in the fall, because those fish are looking for creature baits in the fall because that's when they're the most active. And so those fish, when they see the lizard in the fall, they recognize it as a creature bait, and because they're the most active during the fall, those fish attract it more. So going over all the lizards, I have got a black 6-inch lizard from Zoom, completely black. You would use that in cloudy days or when the water is real muddy. We've got watermelon red lizard from Zoom. This looks like the 5-inch right there. Since this is more of a natural color, you'd use this when it's like sunny out or when the water is clearer. Another lizard we have looks like watermelon pepper neon, and these float These are the floating, so there's no salt in these. And so you fish this in the morning on top water, right there. Next we have the lizard bullfrog. So I used these about 2 weeks ago when we went to a pond, and I caught 3 on this. And how I fished it was I fished it about 5 feet deep. I held my rod tip down, and then I just reeled it in simply. And I got 2 fish. They weren't that big, or 3 fish. They weren't that big, but fish are fish. Next, these are really cool looking. I'll explain these later. But these are really, not really cool, but weird. Right there, look at that. I'll explain why they do that later. But actually I'll just explain it now. So first of all, you would fish this, since it does have red flake on there, it does give it more unnatural color, so you could fish this in dirty water, but I'd stick with clear water when you fish this. Those little cuts it has in its body is for movement, and also with that tail. So most lizards, when you fish them, the only movement provided by the lizard itself is the movement that you give it with your pole. When you fish this, that tail gives it like a whooshy paddle action, so it can give a more like attractive action where the fish are going to strike. Let's see, are there any more lizards? Yeah. Alright, so I'm now going to go over this is the speedworm. This is the watermelon red speedworm. I love these. I would have this in my bag all year round because they work all year round. I'd also have trick worms in my bag all year round. So these speedworms, as you see, it has that paddle tail like the lizard that I showed you. You'd fish this on a Texas rig and in like clearer waters. Alright, next we have some trick worms. We've got the June bug, the ruby, the zoodku, the watermelon candy, and the red shad. So there you go, there you look at here. This is a natural color, so you can fish this anytime you want to. Most green pumpkin or watermelon colors, you can fish it. You want to fish those in the sun. If there's like a lot of colors in it, like watermelon candy, it's like a variety of colors. You could fish this also in muddy waters or like when it's overcast outside. Trick worms you could use for finesse on a shaky head. You could also put it on a Texas rig or on a drop shot. Sometimes if I use it on a drop shot, then I'll like maybe bite off like an inch off the top, so it's not as big as a presentation. But they're really good for finesse, and you could use these all year round. We've got the red shad, watermelon candy, zoodku, the black ruby, and the June bug. Those are really cool. Here we have finesse worms. This is watermelon red. So you would definitely want to throw these on a drop shot. And so with the finesse factor, if you're fishing and then you don't get a lot of bites, I'd rig this up and throw it because of that finesse movement, it gets those fish to bite even if they don't want to. Maybe on like a colder day, you fish a lot of finesse in the winter. So on like a colder day, I'd use the finesse. Obviously, you have your flukes, which is a shad imitation and has those chartreuse tails. The chartreuse tails right there. Fish this in clear water. you have your swim baits right here. You can fish this on a chatterbait and on a swim jig. Chatterbait is really good for fall and winter, so you want to put this on a chatterbait mostly. Here's some other flukes. This is the Mardi Gras color. These are the open belly kind from. These are the Super Fluke from Zoom, and this Mardi Gras color, it does really well in dirty water. Next we have this is the wrong package for it, but this bait looks like a watermelon pearl belly shad imitation. That it does not have a split tail and it does not have a split belly, but it has like the overall shape of a fluke. I throw this on a shaky head, no, not a shaky head, on a Texas rig or maybe weightless if there's salt in it, and flukes catch them during the fall. Next we have I've got a crawl, which I use the crawl in case there's like an extra cold day in the fall. See, crawls are they do really well in the winter, and off of that, that's why I would use it on cold days in the fall. So I always keep a pack with me in this collection of soft plastics. They imitate a crawfish, and Bass's favorite snack is a crawfish. So crawls are really handy when you are not getting a lot of bites, but then you want to get bites. Those are real well. So I also have like a little tray in this pocket right here, and there you go. That's what it looks like. In it, I have a few baits. This is a real small tray, but in it I have a few necessities. Like I have a 2/0 EWG hook, a shaky head, another EWG hook. I have a bullet weight. And then I've got a tungsten weight right there. I keep a crankbait with me. This is a real good shad imitation by 6 cents. Right there, that's a good shad imitation by 6 cents. These work really well in the fall because they imitate those bait fish, and bait fish are the most active during the fall. I have a chatterbait, which also work well in fall and winter, and I put this with a rage crawl. In some of my other videos, I've talked about a chatterbait. And then this is a real bad frog, but I have it in there anyways, just cause if you fish it right, then the fish will bite. Those tails are the skirt on the end are really short, but sometimes that's a good thing, cause a lot of times when I'm fishing a frog, they'll just come up and bite the tails, and you think you have a fish, you hook set, and there's nothing there. So, but when the tails are smaller, they would come, instead of biting right there, they'd come and they'd bite on that belly weight right there. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe, comment what videos we should do next. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video of Cade Shear Fishing. Peace out.